What's up, everyone? It's Zico. Some of you guys might know me from World of Warcraft PvP, and some of you guys might know me as Tuco Salamanca S, the cartel leader of the Black Market Mafia cartel. I don't know. My point is, I'm not only a PvP player, but I'm also a person who has done a lot of black market smuggling, as we refer to it. And basically, what that means is that I have moved gold to a lot of different servers and collected all the different tier 3 sets in the game. I've collected all the TCG tabards. I've collected different mounts like these two right here. From the black market auction house, I've bought a lot of stuff there. And I'm going to teach you guys how to buy these items, how to get them fast, how to get them cheap, and the best methods basically that I know of and my entire expertise when it comes to this. First of all, what is the black market? Well, black market is this auction house that items that are bind on pickup or items that are no longer in the game spawn. Now I'm over here in Broken Isles, Dalaran. You walk down that tunnel that I just did, and then you go over here to this NPC called Madame Goya. This panda, she sells certain items. I mean, today is not her lucky day, I guess. But yeah, she has a different bunch of items here that she sells that are very valuable. And there's a list of roughly 900 items that can spawn on here. Some of them are junk, just like that item that you just saw, and some of them are very, very valuable items for transmog that no longer can be gained in the game. Now, number one is the black market spawns new items every single day at 11:30 p.m. It's random. It can be one item, it can be 5 items. I think it goes up to 7 items, and it's random from a list. Now, there's roughly 900 items on this black market, and there's a couple of rules here that we gotta know. Number one, when you bid, your bid has to be 5% higher than the current bid for you to even to be able to bid. So, and this is obviously to prevent people from just bidding one copper over each other for infinite amount of time. So, number one, the rules of bidding is 5% more. Number two is these auctions come with a timer, which means that they end at a random time. The only information that you are given is here it says very long, or it says long, or it says medium, or it says short. Now, very long means that it's over 12 hours, long means that it's 8 hours or less, medium means that it's 2 hours or less, and short means that it's less than 30 minutes. Now, when an auction is less than 5 minutes and it's short, if you bid on it, the auction's duration gets extended by 5 minutes. So an auction won't randomly time out as long as you bid within 5 minutes of the previous bid. Obviously, you don't want to be on the lower end of that. You want to just, if it's short, you want to just keep bidding. Anyway, the items are random and they are also restricted to your armor type. What this means is that this piece right here is a Druid tier 3 head, which means that only leather users can get this as a transmog. So if I went ahead and bought this on my mage, I wouldn't be able to transmog it on my Druid or Rogue because I am a mage. I have to be a leather user, so I have to be a demon hunter, a windwalker, a druid, or a rogue to be able to buy this item and actually get the transmog appearance in my wardrobe. The same thing goes for plate users, so don't even think about being a plate user and buying all the sets, because I know a guy who did that and he's pissed as fuck because he lost so much gold. Plate users can only buy warrior and paladin tier 3 sets. Mage can only buy priest, cloth, warlock, or mage set. You can't buy, hunter set, for example, on a mage. Now, the other thing is there is no level requirement on tier 3. So that means if you want, you can make a level 1 character on a different server where your desired item is. Let's say you make a warrior. There is a warrior tier 3 helmet up. you go and buy that. You can do that on a level 1 character without having to level that character up. This is the question that a lot of people ask me, so figured I might as well answer that one right at the get-go. Now, when something is short, you always want to be bidding minimum bid. You always want to be bidding minimum bid. You want to take your time, like 3 minutes or so between each bid. And you want to just exhaust your opponent a little bit. You want to just be aids. You don't want to. You never speak with them. You don't say anything. All you do is you're just bidding on your level 1. But a little bit more about the bidding strategy later. First up, we're going to talk about what are you actually going to do. So this is the black market. What do I do with it? First of all, you need to have a large amount of gold. This is high-end gold usage. This is basically when there's nothing left for you to buy in this game in terms of gear or whatever, and you have lots of gold left over, this is where you spend it. Okay? So if you don't have a lot of gold, this guide is not for you. But if you still want to know about it, of course, feel free to keep watching. But I can just tell you a couple of quick methods of getting gold. Highly recommend doing what you're good at. You want to be doing Mythic Plus, and instead of doing it with 5 people and pushing keys, you can do it with 4 people. Invite a random guy with full green gear, have him pay you to get that plus 15 or whatever, and then you can split the gold 4 ways, for example. Or you can do the same thing but with arena. That's what I did. I'm a PvP player. I just played with random people and helped them get 2k, for example, and then they would pay me some gold, and so on. Do what you're good at. If you're good at buying and selling, buy and sell stuff on the normal auction house. If you like farming herb, do that. Whatever you like doing in the game, do that, but do it and make gold with it, because that's what you're good at. So uh, use your strength, basically. But yeah, you need to have shit tons of gold. Now, we're going to talk about minimizing your losses here and smuggling this gold in a minute. And when I say smuggling this gold, I mean moving it to dead servers, essentially, where items are much cheaper. But before we talk about that, we're going to talk about researching your base realm. Now, the black market auction house is a lot about patience and about research. It's a lot of boring stuff before it leads up to the exciting moment when you're bidding for your items. So, number one is you need to find a base realm. And what I mean when I say a base realm or multiple base realms is that I'm talking about a dead server, low population, shared auction house with few realms, a server where you can move your gold, there is little competition, where you can get your items cheap. Now, I'm going to show you guys an example of what I'm talking about here. And I just said the term shared auction house. Now, if you guys didn't know this, servers share auction houses with each other. There's a thing called connected realms in WoW. And what this means is that certain realms are connected with each other. That means if I post something on the normal auction house of this realm, it will also appear on a couple of other realms. So for example, I'm going to go to this server right here. This is a German server, which means that it only shares auction house with other German servers. This is a low pop server, and this is also an RP server, which means that it only shares auction house with other RP servers or RP PvP servers. Now, the server that you're looking for is a server that shares no more auction house than with 2 or 3 servers in total. So there's only 2 or 3 servers in total sharing the auction house. That's what I'm trying to say here. Sorry, that came out a little bit wrong. So this server right here, I think, shares auction house with maybe 1 more or 2 more servers. Now, items here, I mean, this hasn't even been bid on. If it had, it would say 10.5k. No one has even bid on any of these items. Like, this server is dead. Let's see who Boralis. This server. It is dead. It is as dead as they get. You feel me? Now, you need to find servers just like this one. Shared auction house with 2 other servers. What you need to Google is connected realm list, World of Warcraft. Then it's not a complete list, but that's the best you will find. Then you need to go there and look up what servers are sharing at the auction house. Then you need to look, are they low pop? Are they French? Are they Russian? What are they? And then you need to look at these servers. You need to make a character just like I have here. Go to the auction house every day when the auctions have ended, so around 8 o'clock or 7 o'clock. It's kind of RNG, but I would recommend after 6 p.m. definitely you want to be looking at the auction house at least every half an hour here, or every hour, and see if items have completed and see how much they went for. If items are going for cheap, then this is a good server to make your base server, okay? And what that means is you want to move most of your gold from your main server, from Outland, from Tichondrius, from Kazakh, whatever big server you're playing on, where you have your gold, presumably. You want to move it from there to here, and I'm going to explain how to do that soon. Now, this server in particular, you can see that I am on a level 1 character. If you buy a tier 3 item, I am on a level 1 warrior right here. That means I can only buy warrior and paladin tier 3. Let's see, what did I have? I got myself an Arcanite Ripper when I was on this server, this item. It's very valuable. On Outland, this item would go for probably 10 million gold. And here I also have a warrior tier 3 helmet. This item right here also would go for millions of gold on any big server. Now let's see, how much gold have I ever had on this character? Here, most gold ever owned, 667,000 gold. This character was created in Legion, by the way. So go figure. This server, rest in peace now because of the video, but this server, definitely a cheap server, a good server to make your base. You need to find servers like this, where you can get some fucking steals, just like I did. You dig? Now, number one, when you make a level 1 character, you smuggle gold here, you go here to bid. This is where you bid from. I'm not even kidding you. You bid from under the bridge like this. The reason why is because you don't get targeted by these bats that randomly spawn up here. And also, if people spawn imps and you're already under the water, they don't target you. You don't have to sight them under there. So just a quick little tip there while I'm here. And then we're going to log off onto the next server. And now you've researched your base. You found yourself a nice server where you're going to put most of your gold. Well, how do you actually put your gold on this server? Now, the answer is through something that we black market entrepreneurs, or us in the Black Lizards cartel, like to refer to as smuggling your gold, okay? So if you hear me say the term smuggling gold, that's what I'm talking about. I'm talking about moving gold from your big server, Outland for example, to your dead server, your new base, okay? Now, how do you do that? Because this is probably the number one question that I get on stream. So I'm going to go ahead and answer that right away. Are you guys familiar with trading card game World of Warcraft? Basically, in real life, you can go out to stores and buy trading card game World of Warcraft. It's literally cards with World of Warcraft abilities on them or something. I've never bought any, so I don't know. But you these some of these cards have a code that you can scratch. You can fill it into the game, and you get rewards in the game for owning this loot card, they're called. Now, what this means is that you can essentially get items that are tradable, that are very, very expensive, because nowadays, ever since they made Hearthstone, they stopped making the WoW trading cards. So these cards are pretty much extinct. They're kind of like oil, At one day, we're going to be all out of codes, I think. I don't know how it works. But bottom line is, these are very expensive, and you can buy things like the Magic Rooster Egg, for example. This thing goes for millions and millions of gold. Now, there's also pets, okay? And there are trading card game pets, which are very valuable pets. They're super expensive. One of these pets, for example, is called Purple Puffer. This pet, as you can see, goes for, hundreds of thousands of gold. Now, what you can do is, and I'm not going to do it with a Purple Puffer, but you can buy a pet. Let's just search for any pet here. Let's just buy a random pet. These are a little bit expensive to test with, but whatever. Let's get this Corefire Imp over here. So let's pretend that this Corefire Imp is actually a Purple Puffer. It's a TCG pet. There's loads of TCG pets, by the way. I would highly recommend looking them all up. They're super good. There, for example, is this one. Wait, I'm searching on humanoids. This Ethereal Soul Trader. This is a TCG pet. It sells for tons of gold. There is a Spectral Tiger Cub. This thing sells for tons of gold as well. And so on. There is, I don't know how many exactly, there's probably like 10 different ones. They all sell for a lot of gold. On your server, on your base server, you want to go to that auction house. First, you want to go to your big server, to Outland or whatever. You want to buy this pet. Then you want to right click it. So you uncage it. Then you log out. Then you log back onto your dead server. So in this instance, this German server right here. And then you go here to the normal auction house. You uncage your pet. And then you post that pet over there. And therefore you've moved 200k gold to this server, right? So what was it called? It was an imp I bought, right? This. So you just right click it here, put in cage. You have your imp now in your bag. You go to the normal auction house, you post it there. Eventually it sells. Now the problem is you're on a dead server with not a lot of people and not a lot of people who want to buy those pets. So they're gonna take a while to sell. So before anything even spawns that you need, this is the first thing you want to be doing. You want to spend gold buying pets as cheap as possible. You want to, because the prices kind of fluctuate, they go up and down all the time. You want to try to find it when pets are relatively cheap. Buy as many TCG pets as you can, and then log on several base servers, because you don't want just one server. You want at least 3 to start off with, and then you go to those servers. Of course, they need to have a different shared auction house with each other. You can't have 3 servers that are all sharing the same auction house. That would be ridiculous. And then you start posting these pets. Eventually, they're going to sell. This is very slow, very tedious way of doing it, but this is something that you always have going in the background while you're actively also trying to smuggle. So this is just background shit. This is kind of like you've laid down your traps and you're waiting for something to walk into it. And while you're doing that, you're also outside hunting elsewhere. Okay, kind of a weird, you know, whatever, but you get the point. Now, pet smuggling aside, there's also obviously transfers. Transfers is you can transfer your character. I don't know what the gold cap is now. I think it's 1 million gold, but back in my day it was 250k gold. You put that on a character, you transfer it within 2 hours, you're there. Now, of course, you can also buy WoW tokens. If you buy WoW tokens, remember they take 12 hours to sell. So you need to go at 11:30 on every single server that you have a level 1 character on waiting at the at the auction house, at the black market. Then you need to check the server, you find something that you want, and then you need to immediately buy tokens and sell them, because otherwise the auction is going to end before you get your gold. So if you're buying tokens, just a heads up, they take a shitload of time to sell. Post them as early as fucking possible, or don't buy them at all, or don't post them at all, and wait, you know. Now, tokens aside and transferring aside, you can also, of course, buy up the entire auction house and then put gold cap on a character and transfer that for one big smuggle. I recommend buying herbs, buying pots, flasks, elixirs, buff food, enchants, like ring enchants, weapon enchants, shit like this. Buy that, because it's gonna sell. You're gonna have to post a lot of shit. It's gonna be a lot of work, but it will sell, and you can even make a pretty decent profit smuggling this way. This is one of the good methods of smuggling. Now, the other thing you can do is also do a guild bank transfer. You have to add an authenticator to your account if you don't have one already for 7 days. Then you can put up to 10 million gold in your guild bank, and then you can move your guild master character and move the gold with it. And this is what I recommend doing if you're going to snipe an item. Sniping an item refers to discovering an item that just spawned, such as the Swift Zurian Tiger right here, and then going after it, bidding a gold cap. Now, if you bid gold cap on something, no one else can overbid you, and you will get the item guaranteed. So if you bid 9,999,000 gold, you will for sure get whatever you bid on. And of course, when items like this one that a lot of people want, that are unobtainable, spawn, usually they go for gold cap. You will guaranteed have to gold cap this if you ever want to get it from the black market. Now that's gold capping and sniping. That's guild bank transfer. Guild bank transfer is obviously bad for a lot of ways as well, because you're gonna have a big concentrated amount of gold in one spot. You don't want that. What you want is if you have 10 million gold, you want 3 million gold on three different realms, preferably 2 million gold on five different realms. But you get what I'm saying here. Um, you want to have your pets always active in the background. You can obviously transfer. Now the other method of smuggling, and this is what I ended up using exclusively in the end. This is the best method of smuggling, is to go to these threads right here. Wait, so I went on Google here and I went and searched for WoW TCG thread buy sell forums, something like this. You just go here to a TCG selling thread, and as you can see here, these people are decked. Okay, this guy already here, full tier 3 Tabard of Frost, selling a blue Murloc egg. This thing is worth like 50 million gold. Tyrell's hilt, this thing, I don't even know. I think this thing is worth like 2,000 euros. I don't know. These guys, as you can see here, are freaking decked, all of them. I mean, this guy's, I think that's the same guy actually in tier 3, but um, here you can find a lot of decked people, and the important thing is that these guys all have gold on dead servers, and they're all selling all these big items. And you see here, accepting gold trade for other TCG mounts on all realms. These are big time. These are big time gold makers. All of these guys, you can see here, they're selling stuff for 10 million, 3.3 million. This guy at the top was selling. All of these guys are decked. Okay, this is the elite of WoW, and all it takes to find them is a quick Google search. That's what I did. I found them. Now your excuse for being on that thread is you got TCG pets. You're selling purple puffers. You don't give a fuck if people are selling Swift Spectral Tigers out there. You deserve to be there. So what you start doing is, and this is what I did, I started adding all of these people. I started making connections. I started getting to know these people, and then I started trading gold for gold. For example, if someone was done with the black market on a server where I was, then I would ask him, hey, you want to trade your 500k gold that you still have there for, let's say, 600k on Outland? You won't have to move your gold and you make a little bit of a profit? Hell yeah. He gets rid of the headache of moving his gold back and he makes a profit, and I get rid of the hassle of smuggling. This is perfect. Of course, it's a win-win. So find connections. And there's a lot of people in my stream personally that are doing black market. So you can probably start there even and find people all the way over there. Of course, there's going to be a link to my stream at the description, so don't worry about that even. Now, you make connections, TCG buy sell. You can also buy TCG items and sell them on your dead realm, but again, you are moving a concentrated big chunk of gold. Don't recommend it too much, but there's different ways to smuggle. The best way, making a big network of connections who all have gold on different realms, and then working together, especially, and this is what I did in the end. It all started with me doing black market alone. Then I got myself an associate that I was doing it with, also known as Bowie, also known as Dispel 39, Razor 39, Sirius Lost Sun. Man has many names, what can I say? But we started doing it together. He started getting gold on Russian servers. That was his territory. I started getting gold on French servers. Then we met a dude who had gold on English servers and German servers. And then we met another dude who had gold on a bunch of other French servers. So in the end, we were four people, all with our own territory, all owning like 5, 6 servers each, essentially, with millions of gold on each one of those. And what we would do was we made pacts. And of course, trust is important here. But I said, hey, you're looking for Warrior Tier 3, I'm looking for Mage Tier 3, as an example. If Mage Shoulder spawn on one of your servers, buy it for me. If Warrior shit spawns, I'll buy it for you. And then in the end, whoever owes the other guy gold, we'll just pay it on our main server. So we made a pact, me and the other cartel dons, essentially. And then there was big drama with that, and now in the end, it's just me and one guy kind of left in the game. But that's a story for another day. The point is, get other people who are doing the same thing as you and work together. The black market auction house is at its best when it's a team game. Let me tell you, I got full Druid tier 3 in a week for 700k gold in Legion, and I got 4 items the first day I went for it. I was bidding at 4 realms at the same time, 4 WoW windows open, tabbing between them, DCing myself, god damn it. One of them was on a Russian server, by the way. And to log on Russian servers, I'm going to show you how to do it, because it's actually useful for this video. But you go to system, then you go to languages, then you go to Russian, and you press apply. You have to close your BattleNet before this, and then you open your BattleNet, then you relog on your BattleNet, close WoW, and then you can log on to Russian servers. And Russian servers, let me tell you, they have a sale over there. I don't know what they're drinking, but they are definitely having a sale over there. No one is bidding on jack shit over there. You can buy everything cheap as fuck. I got Warlock tier 3 robe for 10k there once. It's ridiculous. But anyway, you want to find these dead servers. You want to smuggle your gold to them. After you have smuggled your gold to them, you need to be willing to lose gold while still making a profit. And what this means is that if an item that you desire spawns, you buy gold on, let's say you've bought a bunch of pets for 1 million gold on Outland. If you're selling these pets and the item is up, sell them for half price. Sell them cheap. Maybe not half price, but you get what I'm saying. Undercut. Make a loss. Because in theory, your 1 million gold on Outland would have bought you, one piece. But your 1 million gold over there on a dead server, that's going to get you like 3 items, 4 items, you know what I'm saying? So you're losing gold here if you only move, let's say, 800,000 because you lost so much, selling stuff cheap. But you're still making a big profit here because the 800,000 will get you more items on a dead server than 1 million will on a big server, because the competition is just on another level. You can't even compare, Now, after you've done this, you've accepted that you're gonna lose some of your gold, but you're doing it smart. You gotta, after you've accepted it, you gotta still min-max it. You don't want to lose gold, obviously. You want to lose as little as possible. In some cases, even make a profit. You want to be clever, be creative with how you move it, be creative with how to deal with people. If you have gold on a dead server, if you have 5 million on a dead server and something spawns that you don't need, be a loan shark. Give someone 1 million, but ask him to pay you 1.5 back, or ask him to pay you 1.3, or 1 million on another server where you don't have any gold and it's a good server. Work together with people, do gold for gold trading, do TCG trading, buy and sell pets, do all of this stuff, and try to cut your losses as much as possible, but be aware that there will be losses. But in theory, those losses are still worth how much you're going to gain in terms of items, okay? Now, we're going to talk about bidding strategy finally. Number 1, you need to be like water. You're not one of these noobs who goes to the black market, stands in front of Madame Goya, and just looks at her like this the whole day. You are a methodical person. What you're doing is you log on level 1 characters that no one even knows that you have. Obviously, you're showing us offline on BattleNet. You're on a server where no one knows who you are. Your character is called Swifty's Toe, and you're completely undercover, Number 1 is, do you see anybody else there? Are they the same armor type as you? If they are they on the same shared auction house as you? If they are, do they have any other tier 3s? Scout out the competition. Check. Is there anyone decked who seems interested in your item? That's number 1. Number 2, a lot of these deals, most of them actually, or all of them in my case, are going to be made off of level 1 characters. There's a couple of things you can do to protect yourself, because this is a PvP zone right here. Number 1 is you speak to this guy, you get a bodyguard. It costs 5 gold. You get this Blood Elf right here. I don't know what she's going to do to protect me, 15 times rank 1, but whatever. Actually, you know what? I don't need her. But you do on your level 1. What the fuck? You can get one of those clingy bitches. But yeah, you buy yourself a bodyguard. Number 2 is, this is your bidding spot, and I'm not kidding. And I said this earlier, I think, in the video, but I'm just repeating this. This is your bidding spot. You bid through this bridge right here. Right here. there's an ear right there I can target. You bid from here. Number two, every single hour or so, you log and check your auction house. Did the auction go from long to medium? If it did, what time did you notice it? If you check the auction house, let's say an hour ago, you log in an hour later, checked it an hour ago, it was long, and now you log on an hour later and it's medium, then you need to type between 5 and 4, the auction went medium. That means I have an hour at worst, because it might have switched right as I logged out. Unlikely, but it might have. I have an hour max before I have to log here and check if it went, if the auction is over. Or is it, at worst case scenario, there's an hour left of the auction. Okay? Now, you need to write down these timers. You need to know when the auction is timing. And then, and only then, when the auction is short, is when you bid. And when you bid, you only bid minimum bid. And you always wait 3 minutes between your bids because you want to mind game your opponent. Also, if you do see your opponent, this is how you check how much gold they have. Compare achievements, statistics, then you scroll all the way down here. Wait, come on, where is it? Might have passed it actually. My scanner is getting old. Right there. Most gold ever owned. You see this guy? This guy is broke. He has 117k gold. I don't even know what he's doing here, but for some reason he's here. I mean, look at his transmog, dude. You're a Worgen male, man. You got bigger problems. Like, there's no transmog that's gonna fix you. There's no transmog. You could transmog Megan Fox on this Worgen male, and it's still a Worgen male. You know, it's like, why are you even here? Anyway, that's how you check that. Some other strategies is, oh yeah, I don't think I actually explained, but when you bid from under the bridge, you line of sight a lot of the pets that spawn here. The other thing is that you need to be aware of is that there are something called a black market container which can spawn on the auction house. An unclaimed black market container is this item right here, and it contains a item. This tooltip is bullshit, by the way. It contains an item, any item in the entire list of all the items that can spawn on the black market auction house. So there's about 900, give or take, items that can spawn. Some of them are that proto whelp that we just saw, aka garbage, and they can spawn in that box. Okay, so you can be lucky as heck and get yourself a Zillion Tiger from that box, or you can be unlucky and get yourself an Elwyn lamp. God knows I've gotten a lot of lamps. Okay, so that's another thing, because I guess a lot of people always wondered what are those boxes and how do they work. Does someone actually have to not buy an item for it to be able to come into the box? That tooltip is a bit of a debate. That's not true. All you need to do is just buy the box and pray to RNGesus. Now, of course, with the box, the same thing applies as to when you're buying tier 3. If you buy, let's say, a box and you get mage tier 3 and you're a warrior, that equals 20 gold or whatever it's worth to the vendor. That's it. That's all it's worth. It's not going to be in your collection. Number 2, you might get junk, so be careful with getting too greedy and going ham in a box on the feeling that I know this one has something good in it, because I've done that mistake a lot of times. Number 3, always buy a box on a level 100 or 110 trial character. The reason for this is if you do get lucky and you get a mount in the box, you're not going to have to level it up. Now, if you do get a tier 3 piece and you're level 1, you still get that in your transmog collection, so that doesn't matter. But if you get a mount, you need to level it to the appropriate level for the mount, and then and only then you can use it and actually get the mount in your collection. Like, I got a level 1 character with a Son of Galeon on it. I'm never gonna level that shit up, because I made that mistake, and I'm way too lazy to level to 85. I don't give a fuck what mount it is, So there's that as well. Now some other things is. I've taught you how to log on Russia. I've taught you how to bid and avoid as much of the possible causes of death as possible. Now, the other thing that we should talk about are your characters that you're making, because you're going to be making a lot of level 1 characters and moving them around, you need to be able to know which ways are efficient to do this. So when you're making level 1 characters, let me do you a favor and tell you, make humans. So for example, if you're going for Shaman Tier 3, you don't make a Draenei Shaman or a Dwarf Shaman. You make a human hunter. A hunter is male, which means he can equip the Shaman Tier 3, but a hunter can be human. And humans start right next to Stormwind, which means that your mage friend, which is going to hate you when you're doing all of this, is going to have to walk barely anything to give you a portal. And speed, especially if it's someone, if someone is on a level 1 character and you're trading and you're porting him to Dalaran to help him win an auction or whatever, and it's already short. If things are stressy, because they get stressy with the black market, if they are, speed is important. Make humans. When you're making trial characters, make mages, because you can if you're going to check a new black market, if you're going to check the auction house and see what's on there, make a mage, a trial character, Hearthstone out of the boat, train the portal to Dalaran, port yourself to Dalaran, you're chilling hard. Okay, now if you're making a horde character because your gold is on horde, then you make trolls. Trolls are the best race, because trolls, all they have to do is walk across a little water in the start, and then there is a flying ride trainer or whatever, a riding master, and he can fly you to Orgrimmar free of charge. And that's the quickest way to get there, where you can take your portal to Dalaran, where you can buy your short auction before it expires. Okay. Some of you guys might think that this doesn't matter, but I've actually made it to an auction that was short. I was running on one window, and I was checking the auction on my other window, and that extra 30 seconds it took me to get there made me miss it. But then again, it was a Tablet of Frost. It went for 700k gold, and then the next week I got it for 64k gold. So what can you do? Doesn't really matter. But in the end, I was a little bit salty because I had smuggled 700k gold to a server, and then I had to re-smuggle it. So when you're smuggling gold, it's a pain in the ass to have to smuggle it over and over. So when you're smuggling it, try to finish the job, will you? Um, Now, what else was on my mind? There was one more thing I was going to talk about in regards to tips. Yes, Trade Skill Master. Have you guys ever heard of tradeskillmaster.com? If not, it's a website I highly recommend for the black market auction house. You just go to tradeskillmaster.com/black market. Now, this website requires you to be a premium user. It costs like $5 for 6 months or some shit. It's not that expensive, and I'm not sponsored or affiliated by them in any way. But this is the website that I used to AoE scan the black market. Now here, you can type Robe of Faith, for example, and then it's going to tell me I need premium access. But if you are a subscriber here, it shows you all the servers where this item is up. This website is not 100% accurate. It updates fairly slowly. You're gonna have to wake up at 4 a.m., 5 a.m. just to check that website if it has updated all the rooms yet. But that's the best we got, so I figured I may as well throw that in there. That's how you AoE scan. If you don't want to make level 1 characters, put them next to Madame Goya and log them and log out and log them and log out and check what's on each black market and write down all the realms that have good items. If you don't want to go through all of that, this website does exist. Figured it could be good to mention it as well. I think that's going to be it. If you guys have any questions, feel free to hit me up in the comments. If you guys enjoy this guide, sub and follow me here and on Twitch, where I do live stream every day. Hopefully this covers the black market auction house topic once and for all. Good luck out there with your tier 3 hunt, and yeah, let me know how it goes and when you complete your sets. Peace.